Should the Buffalo Bills let James Cook in 2023? Or do the Buffalo Bills have a major concern in the running back room? But before we get to that, let's hit that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to say it. Anyways, guys, what is going on, Bills Mafia? Hey, I got a quick question, man. Do the Bills have an issue in the running back room, or should they just let James Cook in 2023? And let's go over some of James Cook's stats from last season in 2022. So last year, let's go over some game logs of James Cook. So first of all, he had 89 carries for the season, 507 yards, 5.7 average, 2 touchdowns, 180 receiving yards. So not a bad season for the limited amount of carries that James Cook had, and pretty good average at 5.7. So week one, oh, by the way, he had one fumble. So what's impressive about the one fumble, by the way, real quick, guys, is he had the fumble week one. I believe it was week one. It's either week one or week two. So it was early on in the season, and he didn't fumble again for the rest of the season. So that's impressive to see that James Cook, got that fumble over with, and he was good to go for the rest of the season. So that tells me the dude has good hands. He's reliable with the football. He doesn't put the football on the ground. Very, very good. So week one, obviously 1 carry, 2 yards. That's not going to do anything for you. Week two versus Tennessee, he actually had a good amount of carries, 11 carries, 53 yards. He averaged 4.8. At Miami, 1 carry, 3 yards. Unacceptable right there. That's not James Cook's fault. That is Ken Dorsey for not utilizing him in the running game. However, I have to look at what Devin Singletary, how many carries he had that game before I say anything, because right here, though, I mean, you're going from week 2 at 11 carries down to 1. I don't know why he wasn't used a little bit more in week 3 against Miami. Even if Singletary was your number 1, he should have gotten more carries than 1. Then you go into week 4 against Baltimore, 0 carries. I don't think he played that game because he just has 0 across the board there. I don't think he had anything going on there. Then Pittsburgh, 4 carries, 31 yards, 7.8. Once again, 7.8, very good. He had the 1 touchdown, but just not a lot of carries. Once again, Ken Dorsey did not utilize him more, and he was averaging 7.8. Now, mind you, this is with a bad offensive line, so those are very good stats, but just not enough carries. Then you go against KC, 2 carries, 8 yards. Once again, just not involved in the offense at all. Then you go to home against Green Bay, 5 carries, 35 yards, average 7. So once again, a good game, just not enough carries. I don't understand there why he wasn't more involved when he's averaging 7 yards a carry. Then you go to at New York Jets, 4 carries, 15 yards, 3.8. Once again, low amount of carries. Then you go home against Minnesota, 5 carries, 22 yards. Now here's where it starts picking up for James Cook. This is where Ken Dorsey starts to trust him, I guess, a little bit more. So home against Cleveland, that was the Detroit game when we got moved to Detroit. Very good game. This is one of it. I guess this is the second best game of the season. 11 carries, 86 yards, 7.8. Really, really good game, guys. That's a very good stat line. If you have more carries, well over 100 yards in that game. Then, for some reason, at Detroit, we go right back down to 2 carries, right? Then you got Thursday against New England, 14 carries, 64 yards, 4.6 on the carry average. Then the Jets, four attempts, 6 yards, not a lot, 1.5. That's his probably worst stats of the season there. But once again, just not enough carries. Then you go at home against Buffalo, 5 carries, 34 yards, 6.8. I mean, he should get, listen, right there, why is he not getting more carries? Then you go against Chicago, 11 carries, 99 yards, averaging 9 yards a carry. That's a great game. He had a touchdown in that game as well. Now that's a stat line I'm hoping to see, coming up in this season in 2023. And then you got the New England game, the final game of the season, 9 carries, 45 yards, another good game, a decent amount of carries, 5 yards per average. So here's my point, guys. I think James Cook needs to be more involved in 2023. I'm going to give Ken Dorsey a sort of a pass for, a little bit of what he did last season as far as carries for James Cook and how much he got involved with the offense. 1, because he was a rookie, and 2, because Devin Singletary was your lead back. Though, when running backs are having good games and you limit them to like under 10 carries a game, you're really hurting the offense. And I just feel like this year he needs to put a little bit more faith in James Cook and see what we got in the second round pick in James Cook. I believe James Cook could be a good running back in this league, but we need to see more. And that is going to come from Ken Dorsey, right? And also that's going to come from a little bit of trust from Josh Allen as well, because Josh Allen does call out of running plays at times as well. And also, he doesn't go to his running backs enough in the passing game. I would like to see James Cook more involved in the passing game as well. Now, the Buffalo Bills did pick up some running backs in the offseason. Damien Harris was probably the bigger one, the bigger pickup for the running backs that we picked up. I'm going to go through over his stats real quick for you as well. So let's go ahead and pull up Damien Harris stats real quick for you, just so we can kind of compare and see what we're at here. Now, Damien Harris drafted in 2019, the same year as Devin Singletary, by the way. So, in 2019, not the best, right? 2 games played, right? That's it, right? I think he got hurt, his rookie season. Now, 2020, 10 games played, 137 carries, 691 yards, 5 average, 2 touchdowns. Very good season. The touchdowns are a little bit low, but he had an overall pretty good season, averaging 5 on the average. And he only had 1 fumble, by the way. So that's the good thing about Damien Harris. He does not put the ball on the ground. Career total with 3 fumbles. That's very good stats there as far as, putting the ball on the ground. Now, in 2021, this was his breakout season so far, for his career. 15 games played, so he played pretty much the full season. 202 carries, 929 yards, 4.6, and he had 15 touchdowns. So they used him a lot in the red zone. He got in the end zone a lot. That's what you want to see from your running back. He had 2 fumbles that year. Once again, not that bad. He didn't put the ball on the ground too much. Then in 2022, he missed some games due to injury. He had 11 games played, 106 carries for 462 yards, 4.4 average, and 3 touchdowns. So there was a major dip from 2021 to 2022. But here's the problem with Harris, and I'm going to go to it right now so we can kind of pop that on the screen as well. So Damien Harris injury history. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this, but I'll go ahead and yeah, you won't. So I'm going to go ahead and just read it to you so you can kind of understand what's going on and why I'm a little bit concerned when it comes to Damien Harris. So in 2018, hurt already. He had a concussion right off the bat, right? So that was 2018 in November. I believe that was actually, that was in college. So this is dating back all the way throughout his injuries history. Okay, so 2018 college, he had a concussion. 2019, this is when he was in the NFL. He had a thigh hamstring pull. Grade 1, he missed 3 games. So boom, right away, rookie year, he missed 3 games. 2020, he had a hand fracture, and then he missed 3 games, the first 3 games of the season in 2020. Also hurt in 2020 again. He had limited practice. He had an ankle sprain, and he missed the first 3 games of the 2020 season. 2021, he had a chest rib bruise. He missed week 5. 2021, he had a concussion. He missed week 9. 2021, he had a neck injury, and he missed week 12. 2021, again, he had a hamstring injury, and he missed 1 game after the Buffalo Bills game. Then in January of 2022, he was forced out of week 17 due to a hamstring issue. And October 2022, he missed 1 game. And then November, he had a leg thigh bruise. He played 11 snaps before departing. So he's had quite the injury history. And that is very concerning when it comes to Damien Harris. Because if you get a healthy Damien Harris of 2020, 2021, and by the way, though, 2020, 2021, he had some injuries there. He wasn't missing a lot of games like he did in 2022, but man, he was dinged up a lot. He missed 2, he missed 3, he missed 1. We really need Damien Harris to stay healthy. If Damien Harris can stay healthy and you can get the 2021 version of Damien Harris with the 15 touchdowns, that's what we want to see, right? That's what will be good for this offense, especially in the red zone, especially in short yardage, because he is that bigger back that we so much need in Buffalo, especially for this offense. Y'all know that we struggled on 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. We struggled on the goal line, short yardage. We always have to have Josh do those short yardage runs. It's not good for Josh. It's not good for the Buffalo Bills. So that's why we went ahead and signed Damien Harris, though it's only for a 1-year deal. And I understand why, because once again, this guy he has that history of injuries, and signing him to a 3-year deal, 2-3, it's a little risky, right? So 1-year deal for Damien Harris is kind of a prove it deal. We'll see what happens with Damien Harris this year. If he can stay healthy, once again, solid pickup. I still want to see James Cook as the lead back, though, in my opinion. Now, for the second guy that we did get, let's go ahead and pull his stats up. And he is more of a real veteran. Now, Damien Harris is a veteran, 2019, but this guy, Latavius Murray, has been around since 2014. So he's played some football throughout his career. He actually had a really good year, his second year. But let's go ahead and pull that up real quick for you guys so you can see his overall stats, Latavius Murray. So go ahead and pull that up for you real quick. So here goes Latavius Murray's stats. So in 2014, well, let's just go to his career. So his career, he has 6,252 total yards. He's averaging 4.2. It's not the best, not the worst. 9 total touchdowns. So he's not like a touchdown freak. But he's had some solid seasons as a pro. So in 2014, his rookie season, 15 games, 82 carries, 424 yards. So you know what? That's kind of similar to James Cook, right? James Cook had 84 carries, 5.7. So very close. They're both very similar as far as that goes. Now, here's his breakout year in Oakland in 2015. He has 16 games played, 266 carries, 1,066 yards at a 4-point average, 6 touchdowns. So they were really using him right there. And I apologize on the touchdowns. I said 9. He has 55 total touchdowns. I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at the fumbles. So if fumbles, he has 9. I apologize for that. So anyway, so back to this. So 6 total touchdowns in 2015, which is a breakout year. And in 2016, third season with Oakland, 14 games played, 195 carries, 788 total yards, 4.0 average, same average as he did in 2015, but he doubled his touchdowns. So he had 12 touchdowns in 2016. Once again, something the Buffalo Bills are missing, and a running back, right? Even Devin Singletary did not see those kind of numbers as a Buffalo Bill, right? Now, 2017, he goes at it, and either I'm not sure what happened, if they traded him in Minnesota or not, but he's in Minnesota right now in 2017, 16 games played, and here's his dip, right? So, actually, not too big of a dip. I apologize. So, 216 carries, 842 yards, but the average is slowly dropping here, 3.9, still 8 touchdowns. I would love to have that as a Buffalo Bill running back. 3.9, not the greatest average, but the touchdowns were good. 2018, Minnesota, again, 140 carries, so they went down from 216 to 140, 578, 4.1, 6 touchdowns. Then in 2019, he went to New Orleans, 16 games played, 146, 637 yards, 4.4 average. So his average actually went up that year in 2019, 5 touchdowns. 2020, 146, 656, 4.5. Once again, around that 4.4, 4.5 average, 4 touchdowns. Then he went to Baltimore, 2021, 119 carries, 501 yards, 4.2, 6 touchdowns. 2022, this is where he got traded to Denver. So he started off in New Orleans, and I think he only played one game here. And he had 11 carries, 57 yards, 5.2 average, 1 touchdown. Then Denver winded up picking him up, and he had 12 games, 160 yards, and 160 carries. 106 carries, 703 yards at a 4.4 and 5 touchdowns. That is a very good season for only playing 12 games. He almost had 300 yards short of having 1,000 yards. Very good. If he played a complete season there, he probably would have had 1,000 yards or damn near close to it. And then his touchdowns, probably would have been close to 10. I mean, that was a very good year for Murray. Now, when Murray's injury history, not too bad. So if you're going back since 2014, he had a concussion, so he missed one week. In 2015, he had another concussion. He missed one week. And then in 2016, he had turf toe. He missed 2 games. 2021, he had a quadricep injury, and he was inactive for the playoff game. And in 2021, he had an ankle injury, and he missed 3 games. So overall, though, I got to say, through his career, he's been pretty healthy. And that's good to see, right? That's good to know. I'm really thinking Murray is the dark horse here. I listen, it's going to come down to preseason between Murray and Damien Harris. Can Damien Harris stay healthy, right? If he can, I think he beats out Murray. But if he gets hurt, which based on his injury history, it's a possibility, Murray could take that spot, and Harris could be looking on the outside, looking on the inside, outside looking in, right? And he could be cut. I mean, we could cut Harris, or we could place him on the IR or place him on a practice squad. But if he stays healthy, I do see him beating out Murray. Now, I do want to pull up one stat that's important to me. And it's a guy that obviously you all know that I have a lot of love for, and a lot of Bills Mafia just really, kind of dogged this guy, when he was a Buffalo Bill. So that is Devin Singletary. So Devin Singletary's stats. Now, I just read you all these guys' stats, right? Damien Harris, Latavius Murray. Now, in 2019 for the Buffalo Bills, his rookie year, right? 12 games played, right? Y'all know how that started, right? So he was hurt, I believe, 3 games he missed, 2 or 3 games, and he didn't even start as the Bills running back. That was Frank Gore, who initially started the first 3 games. Then Devin Singletary started getting more action and eventually became the starting running back. But he had 151 carries, 775 yards, 5.1 average, 2 touchdowns. 2020, 16 games played, 156, 687 with a 4.4 and 2 touchdowns yet again. 2021, 17 games played, 188 carries, 870 yards, 4.6, 7 touchdowns. That was a pretty good season for Devin Singletary as far as the touchdowns go. for the Buffalo Bills. Now, 2022 last year, 16 games, 177 carries, 819 yards, 4.6, 5 touchdowns. Throughout his career, he's averaged 4.7. Damien Harris, 4.7. Guess what? Career, 3,151 yards for Devin Singletary. Damien Harris, 2,094. Both drafted in 2019. What's that tell you? It tells you that Devin Singletary could stay healthy. He didn't miss many games. And he was efficient. And also, look at the carries, right? None of these, he never got over 200 in his career. Now, the same could be said for Damien Harris, except for 2021. Damien Harris had 202 for the season. And 2020 had 137, and in 2022 had 106. But why is that? That's because Damien Harris only played 10 games in 2020, and he only played 11 in 2022. So it tells you right there that Devin Singletary was was reliable, meaning he did not miss games, right? He wasn't injury prone. You could rely on him being there every Sunday, right? He was very reliable. And the only thing that I will say that was bad about Singletary throughout his career, and not even, it was terrible, but 10 fumbles lost. That's not good. 4 his rookie year. 2020 he only had 1. 2021 he had 2, and last year he had 3. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not very good either. And the touchdowns. So he had 16 total touchdowns for his career. He picked it up a little in 2021, but just once again, 7 and 5. You got to have a little bit more than that as a running back. And then also the carries. He never had over 200. Now, that could also once again be, Brian Dable, right? And Ken Dorsey just not getting the running backs involved in the offense, which is a lot of the case. And some of the case is just, what style running back they are. Now, as y'all know, Devin Singletary is a shorter back, though he was kind of like a bowling ball, right? What Zach Moss tried to be, but way better as far as, being patient, actually following the tacklers, right? Hitting the holes correctly, not running in the back of your offensive lineman. So, he also was more, he could get away from that first wave of defense, right? He was just more elusive, right? And just, unfortunately for Zach Moss, he just could never be that back. Now, I'm not saying Zach Moss is a bad back. He just didn't fit the system, didn't fit this bad offensive line we have. Now, we improved the offensive line this past season, right? So we got Connor McGovern now, who's more of a run blocker, and then we also got Osiris Torrance in the draft, who's also primarily a run blocker. I expect this offense to get the running backs more involved in the 2023 season. With all that being said, with the addition of the offensive line, with the addition of the other guys that we brung in as well for depth, like Brandon Shell, David from the Rams. So we brung in some good depth heading into this season. So there's really no excuse not to get the running backs involved in 2023. But what I really, really want to see is James Cook as the RB1. Listen, I feel like if they use James Cook, he could be close to 1,000-yard back, depending on how many carries he gets. If James Cook can get over 200 carries, he can have what Damien Harris did, and I think a little better in 2021 so if you look at Damien Harris in 2021, he had 202 carries at 929 in the 15 touchdowns. Now, do I expect James Cook to be the 15 touchdown guy? No. That's Damien Harris or Latavius Murray job when you get down to the red zone, when you get to the goal line. But James Cook could have a breakout year if Ken Dorsey actually uses him in the system more than he did with Devin Singletary. And that, by the way, it's not just Ken Dorsey. That also falls on Brian Dable, because Brian Dable's here since 2018. Brian Dable didn't use the offense, the running backs in the offense either, right? So I don't want to hear that it's all Ken Dorsey who didn't use running backs. I just need, listen, I also feel like it's the problem with the offensive line, but now that's been addressed. Let's see if Ken Dorsey actually uses the running backs more. But back to James Cook. If James Cook can get 200 carries, right, I think he could be a 1,000-yard back. I really, truly believe that. And I just want to, I think the Bills should give him the opportunity, like they gave Devin Singletary, the opportunity to be RB1. Because the other guys that they have in the room, I just don't trust. I don't trust Damien Harris could stay healthy for a full season. Latavius Murray, listen, quality vet. I told you he doesn't have a big, injury history, but you can see that his average has dipped since the second season, right? From the 5 all the way down to, 5.2, and then he did 4.0 and 4. So he's pretty much a career 4.2. It's not the worst, but it's not very good either. And I think James Cook could be more about that 5 yards a carry type of back, or even better. I mean, 5 yards a carry is not, look at Devin Singletary. His rookie year, he averaged 5.1, right? You're telling me James Cook can't average that? He averaged 5.7 last year. Mind you, didn't have a lot of carries, but he definitely could be a 5.0, 5.1, even 5.3 average, depending, how many carries he gets. But listen, guys, I'm excited to see if they use James Cook this season the way he should be used. And that's give him the ball a lot more, right, than what I talked about earlier about 1 carry a game, 5 carries, 8 carries another game, back down to 3 carries, 4. You can't do that with these guys. You got to be consistent with the running backs, right? 1 game, 1 carry, it's just unacceptable. So let's hope Ken Dorsey can get James Cook more involved with the offense, and let's hope Josh Allen can get a chemistry going also with James Cook out the backfield, because I have a feeling that Nyheim Hines, by the way, is going to be, unfortunately, either a trade candidate or he's on the bubble, because unfortunately special teams have changed due to the new kickoff return rule. And I think, unfortunately for Nyheim Hines, he may be the odd man out. We'll see how this preseason goes and training camp. We'll see if Damien Harris can stay healthy. We'll see if Latavius Murray can beat out Harris, in preseason, because I think preseason is going to matter a lot for these guys battling for that number 2 spot. I saw somewhere someone said Harris could be the number 1 going into the season. I would be honestly very disappointed if Harris is the lead back going into 2023. I think James Cook deserves it. I think James Cook had a way better second half of the season. He's shown that he could be patient and wait for his blocks. He's your 2nd round pick from a year ago. Listen, you drafted him for a reason. It's time to put some faith in James Cook going into 2023. So let's go ahead and start him. Anyways, guys, go ahead and leave some comments. I want to know what your feelings are in the running back room and at Bills Mafia. I love you. And as always, go Bills, and I'm out of here. Peace.